Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I am very, very excited here because I have two extremely wonderful guests. My dear peeps, Art and Stephanie Powell. Yay! Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Sonia.
Before we jump in, I just want to say hi to a couple of people. I see Ron, as always, my big bro. Thank you for joining us. And he says, hi, Stephanie and Art.
Hey,
Hi,
Ron.
Ron.
And we have Jackie, my girl Jackie. She's tuning in from Mexico. So she's
Hi, Jackie.
hi. And we have Constance. Hello, Constance. My girl Lisa. Hello. And Carrie. Hey, good to see you.
Hey,
Hello.
Constance.
Hi,
Hey, Lisa, Barry.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining.
And for anyone who is kind of lurking and hasn't said hello yet, welcome. And for those catching the replay, hello. Hey, Yamada. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So before I really get into talking to Steph and Art here, I just want to tell you all how I know these beautiful people. Steph and I go way back. Gosh, I don't know. What year was that? Like 86, 87?
Let's date ourselves.
Right?
It was like 80.
No, it was around 86, 87. Yeah.
86.
So we're college friends and have been friends for such a long time. We have so much history. But it's been amazing just seeing her growth and where she is today and all these wonderful things she's doing. And then the other thing that I just love about her so much is that she married this handsome, fantastic man right next to her. And it's one of those things that you just love people when you connect with them, you instantly get along.
Yeah.
And I forgot how many years ago that was, Art, when you came out to California.
It's been some time. When I did the
music project,
the A&M project over at
Record Plant,
the record plant on Sunset for K9.
Yeah.
I remember what was that, like 20?
That was early 2000, like
2006 or 7. Yeah.
Okay, so that was quite some time ago, and Steph told me, "Oh, my husband's coming out. You got to meet him." And we met up, and it was just like instantly we got along, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So he is my brother, my soul brother, and of course, Steph is my soul sister. So I'm just so excited to have them here because they have started something very exciting. And I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more about themselves and about their new thing that they have launched here. Hey, Janet.
Hi,
and
Janet.
Mashika. Oh, Mashika's here too from Mexico.
Rashida. One of my colleagues. Thanks for joining, Rashida.
Oh,
Thanks
Rashida. Hi, Rashida. Awesome.
This is great. This is like a family. This is a family.
Yes, it is.
Evening. We're going to have ourselves a great time, a great talk. And I guess I'll start by talking about myself. Well, and Sonia, you know a lot about this, but people tuning in may not know. I have been a lifelong student of wellness. My mom was one who was into alternative healing. She had studied Buddhism. She was into metaphysics. And so that was a part of my upbringing, during my formative years. And so I've always been a proponent of taking charge of your health and your wellness. And I've had a very interesting wellness journey that's led me to where I am today. And it's so interesting when you are who you are, and you attract more of who you are in your life. There's so many synergies in terms of what I subscribe to, what I believe in, that when it came time to getting married, that was represented in Art. I saw a lot of myself in him. So that's really something that we might talk about a little bit later on. That's really helpful when you're on your wellness journey, when you have a partner who subscribes to the same things that you do, it helps make the journey that much easier. So we'll talk a little bit more about the journey, but in short, that's who I am. I'm a communications professional by trade, and I'm a former educator. I've worked in higher education. So in terms of educating and imparting knowledge and sharing information, be it in the classroom or through a communications channel, that's just a part of who I am. So I'll leave it there and turn it over to my wonderful husband. Tell us about you.
Oh, yes. So thank you again, beloved sister Sonia, for having us. My name is Art. I have a couple aliases too. So Art the Great, that's more of my commercial pop R&B soundtrack persona. And then there's Art Zen, that's associated with my productions under the Zen and You music brand. So I was in the music business hardcore back in the early 90s. And I still dib and dab, as Sonia knows, in dealing with working with the major labels, and done some stuff for TV as well, and Discovery Network and such. But a couple years ago, I said, well, I'd like to do something in a creative space where I felt like I was giving back to people and contributing to wellness in a different way. So I got into frequency healing music production, and then it gave birth to Zen and You Music and the alias Art Zen. And we're doing some really great things in that space, and we look forward to sharing more information with the viewers today.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like it was just a natural fit for you to want to provide this type of information to everyone. So, talk a little bit more about, so everyone, just so you know, we're going to kind of break this down because they have 3 different things that they're working on, and it's all very extraordinary. And if questions come up in the process, please feel free to go ahead and put your questions in the chat so that we can get that answered for you. And Ron is a big disco person. We always tease him about putting his dancing shoes on. So he's like wondering, do you still boogie woogie Art? He wants to know if you get down with the get down.
Yeah, I mean, hey, disco's making a comeback, and in fact, that's predicted that like stripped down house music is going to be, it's predicted that genre is going to make a huge comeback. So yeah, I do some retro kind of disco tracks because that's what's on the edge, and that's coming back strong. So yeah.
And Sonia, that's taking us back to our college days.
I know, we loved it.
And let me just shout out Paula. She's one of our interns with our company, For the Love of It. Paula, thank you.
Paula.
Ron, I got you on the disco tracks, bro. So yeah.
Hey, Sophie, glad that you could make it. So tell us more about For the Love of It. Like, what made you decide? How did you come up with the name? What made you think of it? Kind of what's the energy behind all of that?
Okay, great question, Sonia. And I just shouted out Paula because she's a part of the answer to that question. And I want to break it down in terms of the soul energy. You think that's a good place to start in terms of the soul energy, because everything's energy, right? Everything's energy. We're energy, and including a business. A business has soul energy, and it's comprised of your calling, your intention, your skills and abilities, the people you serve, your behavior, your actions. All of those things create the soul energy of your business. And so naturally, when we started this, we sat and we thought and we said, what is it? How do we want to show up in the universe? What is it that we want to create? How do we want to contribute to our world? We all get the question, if you could do something for free without getting paid, what would that be? And I don't know if we seriously sit back and answer that question for ourselves, but we did. We've been married. We just celebrated our 18th wedding anniversary. And thank you. And, and in the beginning years, we pondered that question. If we could do anything, or if we could create our own job, what would that look like? And quite honestly, everyone, at first we weren't crystal clear about that. We had some hints of, like I mentioned to you at the top of the show, I'm a former educator. I taught in higher ed. I was department chair for communications. I worked in the private sector in communications, been a director of marketing and all of that. And so naturally, that's a part of what I do and what I love. And so that was a piece of it. Art, you heard, he's been into music. In fact, he grew up, I think, practically with drumsticks in his hands. He's a percussionist by training. And so we're both creators. I didn't mention that I'm a former dancer. I danced from the age of 3, taking ballet and dance for many years. So we're both creative spirits. And so we knew that creativity would be somewhere at the heart of it. Communication would be at the heart of it, but also providing information to help promote wellness in people. That's something that is very, very important to me. I would get questions all the time. I mentioned the soul energy of a business and one of the components being your calling. Well, speaking on that, I would hear, we would both hear, we're both foodies too, by the way. Love to eat. We love good food, either prepared by our own hands or by someone else's. We love good, healthy food that fuel us, provide us with nutrition that tastes wonderful. And so people would ask us all the time, oh my goodness, can you give me the recipe for this? Or can you give me a recommendation to a restaurant? And we have a very eclectic palate. So we will eat anything from Mediterranean to Indian and I'm part West Indian. So of course I have to get in my Caribbean food, my West Indian food. And, we love spices and all sorts of things. And people would ask us for recommendations on either recipes or where to eat. And we had heard over the years, please recommend, you two could have your own business, either providing recipes or recommending places where people can eat anywhere in the country, because we love to travel too. And we go to great places to eat. And so that was a part of our calling. The other piece was people would say, boy, Stephanie, I would go to the doctor. I have this nagging cough that's persistent, that won't go away. Nothing that the doctor prescribed would help. Well, what do you recommend? And as I mentioned, my mom had exposed me to alternative medicine from a very early age. And so if you're asthmatic, looking at things like nettle, stinging nettle, or if you are trying to regulate your blood sugar levels, chromium, or, those various things to help. I've been taking those things for decades. And so people would say, my goodness, you need to share this information with the masses. Can we press pause for a minute? Because, I have to put in the disclaimer. We recommend that you listen to your doctor and consult with your doctor when it comes to, your health. Okay.
Right.
We're proponents of that. However, we also believe that you should be in the driver's seat when it comes to your health, and you need to be very proactive about that. You don't need to abdicate responsibility when it comes to your health. You are in charge of your health in consultation with your doctor and trusted health practitioners. And so we just were called to it. People would say all the time, my goodness, I would call you for a recommendation for things that would work. So it's something we were called to. And so we said, boy, we would love to create something where we're providing information that would help help transform people's lives so they can be the best version of themselves, and looking at it in a holistic way where we're attending to mind, body, and spirit. So
Yeah.
for the love of it, looks at that. We promote love and we promote wellness, and wellness in its broadest sense. So we look at physical, right?
Yes.
We look at mental, we look at emotional, we look at social, we look at financial wellness, social wellness, all of those things that attend to the total being. And so that's what Love of It is about. Now, the interns, and I shouted out one of our fabulous interns whom we just recently hired. Two of them recently asked us the question, and I love this question. They asked, we read about For the Love of It. They did due diligence before applying for the internship. They did their research, right? They went to the website, they listened to our blogs, they went to our website, and they said, okay, we understand the mechanics of it. We really like your content. We buy into what you're doing. But as the co-creators of For the Love of It, we want to know, what is the heart and soul? See, you can't really get that from words.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to know, what's the heart and soul of For the Love of It? And we sat back in the interview, and yeah, you're listening, Paula. We were like, wow. Wow. Because this speaks to someone who's very intentional, who says, and we're hiring people who are graphic designers and video editors. And so they're really great creative types. And sometimes you can just create for the sake of creating, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what they wanted. They wanted to create in a way where they align their energy with ours and what we envision for the company, so that we have a very synergistic effect and we achieve the goals.
And the intentions are in line.
Absolutely.
I love that. Intention is key. Intention is key. A lot of times when we do things or get involved in things, we just want to set that intention, because that's what we're aligning ourselves with. Even waking up in the morning, having the certain affirmations and things that I say, it just changes the day. It's a game changer. So I'm glad to hear that. And you got yourself some good interns there. Don't let them go.
They are fantastic. But they went further, Sonia, and they said, well, what is the it? The company's name is For the Love of It. What is the it? And that's a really great question. What is it? So we do For the Love of It. We created something that we do for the sheer love of it. We love being creative and informing and giving life-giving information. So we do it for the love of it. But the flip side of that, what is the it? We do it for the love of us. We do it for the love of you. We do it for the love of the universe.
And anything loving.
And anything loving, or anything that's within our creation.
Yeah.
We do it for the love of it. And I know that's a big it, but that's what it is. The
But
it
covers
is the
everything.
universe. It's the universe. We do it for the love of it. And that includes all of us. So that's it. And that's, I guess, the long version.
But if you believe, or in my view, understand that everything's connected, it is everything. So.
I just love that. Now, do you have like a target audience? Is there like a specific group of people that you're targeting, or how do you see that? How do you see your audience?
We've been asked that question before too. And the best way I can answer it is we have content, right, that we put out with loving intention, and whoever it attracts or appeals to, we're happy that it does that. Mm-hmm. So I can't say what that audience is, but it's anyone who's attracted to, the beautiful loving content, right?
So it's irrespective of gender, age. If you can read and receive and process the information we provide, For the Love of It content is for you. And you had mentioned the various branches of For the Love of It, Sonia. And I don't know if you want us to get into that, but For the Love of It is like an umbrella that includes 3 branches, and we can get into that.
Yeah, I was going to say, so let's say I'm going to your website. What am I going to find when I go to your website? Why don't you take us through your website? And I'm going to post it right here as well, so everyone has it. And just so everyone knows, in the description of this live is all of their information, all these different branches that we're about to talk about, all their social media. I mean, they're on every platform, so you can't miss them.
We are.
But here's the website right here.
Yes.
And yeah, walk us through your website.
Okay. So we have the umbrella For the Love of It, and we have content that comes, and it's all online content that comes in various formats, not just via the website. As Sonia mentioned, we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, Twitter, IG, YouTube, even TikTok and Pinterest. But we have several brands under For the Love of It because we don't want to be just that unilateral, just provide you with one type of information. So we have several brands under the For the Love of It umbrella. For the Love of It will provide you with wonderful blogs. Every Wednesday, we issue a blog, and we have 4 different types of blogs. We have Reflections, and I'm the author of the Reflections blog. And if you want to get some insight into my mind and some of the things that I think about in terms of what are the sorts of things that could help improve my life, your life, anyone's life, like following your dreams. What does that look like? How do we go about doing that? And so I've written a blog on things like that, how to get more out of the day. It seems like the minutes just pass by so quickly. How do we get things done in a day and be productive? So those are the sorts of things that I talk about in the Reflections blog. Then we have Healthy Living, and that's by our contributing writer, Bria Boscheman, soon to be Bria Jones. She's marrying a family member, a son of ours, Eddie. But Bria does the Healthy Living blogs, and she will tell you about those things that you think about more on a physical nature. What are sorts of products that you should put on your skin? Green products. What are some immune boosting supplements? I think you saw me take my sip of liquid chlorophyll. She's done a blog on liquid. Oh, cheers. Liquid chlorophyll. What are the benefits?
Water.
Hey, cheers. Gotta get in the water. And those sorts of things. And then our nephew, Michael Morrow, he does a blog on connecting with nature. I think we all know that nature can be one of our greatest teachers, and nature can be so healing. We call Michael, what do we call him? Nature Man.
Nature Man.
Nature Man.
Let me tell you, Michael is, a lot of times he is somewhere on a mountain, in a forest, by the lake. He's somewhere connecting with nature. That's the title of Michael's blog, Connecting with Nature. And he talks about how nature, he takes us so we can experience vicariously through Michael where in the world literally he is, what parts of nature he's connecting with, and how that has healing and transformative effects. And I just love his blogs. When I read it, I really get chills. So wonderful. And then we have Mindful Moments, and that's another blog that's written by me. And it's all focused on mindfulness and how mindfulness, and we all know, or I think some of us, and maybe others not, mindfulness is simply the exercise of being present and not being judgmental, being present, not allowing distractions to take us away from the present moment and how we can exercise that in our day-to-day lives. And so we talk about that in Mindful Moments. And so we have those blogs each week. We have affirmations. And so those are sorts of things you can get under For the Love of It. But then we have 2 more brands under the umbrella. We have Art mentioned, Zen and You Music. And how often are we releasing music?
Every month.
Every
month,
month.
a new single.
A new single every month around the middle of the month. So we just released Angelic Voices. And Sonia, you talked about Angelic Voices.
It is so beautiful. I highly recommend you all go and listen to this. I'm very much into meditative type of music. And we were talking about this earlier before we started the live of how I just sometimes when I'm working, I just need to relax and just need something to take me there. And Art did an amazing job with this piece. It's so beautiful and highly, highly recommend. Go to the website, listen to this. It's beautiful. It's magic.
It's also available on all digital streaming platforms, Apple Music,
iTunes,
Spotify,
Amazon, you name it. It's on about 150 digital music platforms.
Also,
I'm glad you told me that now because I was going to the website, but I'm going to put that on my Spotify. So
yes, check out Angelic Voices. And then on the 14th of next month, we have Mother's Love coming out. But Angelic Voices is at 528 hertz. I don't want to get too technical with it, but the different frequencies have a healing effect. That's at 528.
And that frequency is known as the love note or the miracle note. And it's said to have healing qualities and helps you rid yourself of toxins and such.
Ooh.
So yeah.
That's some good COVID music right there.
Yes, absolutely. So check out Angelic Voices. I love it. I listen to it, and I absolutely love it. I listen to it when I work. And interesting too, we didn't mention that we walk the walk. This is a part of our lifestyle, so we're not kind of sharing things that we are not familiar with and passionate about. About probably 10 years before Art got into this space, we were listeners of this music. And in fact, working to it, if some of my coworkers are on, they know they would walk into my office and they would listen to my music. And I would sometimes turn it down and they're like, no, I love hearing it. It's so peaceful when I come into your office. It just puts me in a really good place and calms me to do the work of the day because we're in communications and it's very deadline oriented and it can get a little stressful at times. And so the music really kind of helps steady us to get the job done and maintain our equilibrium. So we've been students of this. In fact, we listen to this music and they're 1 hour versions, 3 hour versions, 8 hour versions, if you want to listen to it throughout your sleep. And we have done that like almost every night after night for years. And so this is something we really subscribe to, and we know personally how it really benefits you.
Yeah.
So for our songs, we have on YouTube the 1 hour, the 3 hour, the 8 hour versions. You'll be able to access those on our YouTube, on our Zen and You Music YouTube channel. So please check that out. So
check it out, everyone, and subscribe. Again, I put all the descriptions into the description here, so you can click on the link and find them there. And Steph, just one thing before I forget, I want to make sure, I think Sophie had to go, but I think she's going to need to come back and check it out. Yes, Ron, it does. Ron says music raises your vibes.
It does.
It totally does. And with the frequencies, as you were getting into a little bit, I'm curious because Sophie had a question wondering if there was like a frequency or music that would help with smoking.
Oh, smoking. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that'd be the 417 frequency. So there's music out there, you can even do like a simple YouTube search. So anything at 417, because 417 is a frequency known to dissolve feelings of trauma and free up emotional blocks. So yeah, I would suggest listening to music at the solfeggio frequency of 417.
Okay, that's good.
And
I will make a note of that.
music that's created at the 417 frequency. Yeah. We listen to 417 a lot. A lot. One of our favorite frequencies is 417. Very, very healing. So yes, Sophie, definitely check that out and hope you tune in to Zen and You Music and that which Art Zen creates on that frequency.
Let's just talk about for a second the music that Art creates. Oh, Sophie, just in time. I don't know if you heard, we were just talking about frequencies for smoking, and 417 hertz is a good frequency. So if you just go back, like literally, we just finished up talking about it. But yes, check that out. So hopefully that helps you with that. But Art, in a lot of everything that you put together and these videos and things, it's all your music?
Yeah. So, and let me just go back a little bit. So as I said earlier, my late twin brother and I, we were in the music business hardcore full time in the 90s, and we produced records for a lot of 90s R&B acts, and we did some stuff for TV, film, Fox TV, and Discovery Network, and we were proud graduates of Ellington School of the Arts, Duke Ellington School of the Arts here in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. So we have a classical background as well. So we just applied those skills to music production. And so those are the same skills that I actually apply on the Zen and You music side of things. And some years ago, I had gone through like a lot of things. I was dealing with some serious anxiety, and I was prescribed Xanax. I was, popping pills for a while. But then I noticed, like, just hanging out in my home studio, just freely playing chord progressions and playing around with sounds that felt good, that actually helped with my anxiety. So that was one of the things that kind of helped me, kind of refocused me kind of music production wise into kind of understanding the healing properties of frequencies and layering certain sounds that promoted calm, right, and relaxation.
That and biofeedback.
And yeah, and I had some biofeedback therapy. So so the biofeedback therapy helped me understand that, hey, this is real. This is really transforming, and how music and frequencies can be so healing or are healing.
Yeah. Anxiety is a huge one because especially, what we've all experienced and still experiencing with this pandemic, it has brought out a lot of anxiety for people. Things, anxiety they didn't even know they had until we kind of going through all of this. So music is key. It really does help heal. And I just love that. And then Steph, might I add that your voice on some of these videos that you do. You have such a calming, soothing voice, and it's like, I don't know, your voice is music.
Oh, thank you so much, Sonia. I heard that from one of my dearest friends who has been in broadcasting for 20 years, and we're always our own worst critic. And For the Love of It also to an extent represents my pushing through my fears, I have to admit to everyone out here, because I've always said, and my background is in communications, but I like being the director, the producer, the behind the scenes person. So now I'm kind of pushing myself out front, and it's not the most comfortable place for me, but I think it's really important to push through your fears, particularly if you feel you're called to something. And so I'm doing that. And so I appreciate people who are tuning in and watching me go through my own transformation as we take this on. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. I've already shared with them. I'll let you guys know, like last night I had trouble sleeping, and they have a video on mindfulness sleeping. And it helped so much. I just loved it. What was it? I had to write it down so I didn't forget.
Yeah,
Two of the key phrases that you said is I am here now
that's right.
and I am releasing now.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
breathing, because it's a breathing exercise that you do. It was so like just whatever happened during that day, I was able to let go of that
Right.
and focus on the breathing and with the meditative type music. It was lovely, just lovely.
Thank
So
you, Sonia. You're talking about our meditation minute. And
yes.
so, yeah, so that incorporates arts music and certain words where we just encourage people, you deserve 1 minute of a day to just say, you know what, I'm going to press pause and I'm just for 1 minute, I'm just going to focus and be present with myself. And so we issue the mindful minutes every single week. So you can tune in for those on Zen and You Music. And I love them. Again, when we talked about why we're doing this, is for the universe, and that includes me. So I use our own content. So I'll do the mindful minutes and just sit and press pause and so I'm so glad you enjoy that, Sonia.
Yeah, I did. There's great stuff on there, everyone, great content. And I mean, we talked a little bit about this, but how do you come up with your content? Like, is it just one of those things like, does it just kind of pop into your head, or have you already had a list ahead of time? Like, oh, yeah, we got to make sure we cover this and we do this or that. How do you plan for your content?
Yes, well, it comes to us through so many different ways. And it's so interesting when you feel like you're called to something, it
Mhm.
just kind of comes to you. It really does. For the blogs, yes, the ideas just come, and I mentioned reflections in particular. It's what goes on in my own mind and heart, and that's what comes out through the reflections blogs and for the mindful minutes. But part of this is being a member of a tribe. And so we're part of a wellness tribe with people who are into yoga and to meditation and to wellness and so we are constantly being fed with this sort of information. It comes to us regularly. And so we are just the conduit for getting that information out through our channels to as many people as possible.
Oh, I love that. Is there anything else that you want to share about Zen and music before we jump to talk about it?
We have a new single dropping next month on the 14th. It's entitled Mother's Love. So just wanted to encourage everyone to look for that. It'll be available on all the digital music streaming platforms. Um, yeah. So yeah. And look, I'm growing in this space too. So I invite everyone to grow along with me. And oftentimes what you hear in the production are things I need myself. Just to get into a little bit more of the creative process, I'll come into my home studio and I'll load up some sounds and I'll play some sounds and whatever is pleasing to me, given that mood that I'm in or how I may need to be lifted may become the foundation for a piece. And then I'd also add some organic, some organic elements. Like I have like a little drum. It's called a panda drum. It's called a steel tongue
Oh, I love those. Yes.
mallets. And so
Yes.
they add some of that randomly throughout the track, just
Mm.
add some warmth, organic warmth to it, and also has some hand drums. One drum my mom brought back from I think Brazil for me, and
It's over there
I
in
have
the
a
corner.
gong and all that. And so there are organic elements that also go into those works.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, each one of those are healing in their own way too. So love that you add those different sounds in there. That's
Yes.
wonderful. Again, everyone, I want to encourage if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up while you're in here. I always forget to say that. Uh, but it does help the channel. So please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And so, yeah, tell us a little bit more about Talk About It, this other
Oh,
part of your
wonderful.
umbrella here.
Yes, so we talked about For the Love of It with the affirmations and the blogs. We talked about sending you music. And so the third component is Talk About It. And it is a video program that's hosted through our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the Talk About It YouTube channel. And we haven't launched yet. We are launching. I'm so excited. We're launching, and you're the first to hear it. This is the first that I've announced this, everyone. We're launching on October 26th.
Yay.
Our first show is on October 26th. So we are talking about, again, all things wellness. Okay, so our tagline is Talk About It for Better Living. And we talked about the various aspects of wellness. And so it can be on physical, mental, emotional, social, financial wellness. And we're really blessed with a great network of people who are willing to come on and share information. We're not going to have long programs, probably around 30 minutes is how they're stacking up right now. We're in the recording phase, and I'm conducting wonderful interviews with people. We are launching with a show on healthy relationships. And I am so thrilled that actually it's a family member of mine, my sister-in-law, Dr. Gloria Morrow, who is a psychologist and a professor of psychology at Southeastern University. So gifted Dr. Morrow is, and she really breaks down the components of how to have a healthy relationship. I have one of my colleagues and members of my tribe, Jason Creaselman, talking about mindfulness and meditation. I have Monife Marshall, who's a clinical, nutritionist and health coach, who has a whole wellness series. You wait until you hear from Monife when she even talks about grief meditation and just all aspects of wellness with her. She had so much to share. I said, Monife, we have to break yours down into a 3-part series. I mean, lots of great information to share. We have Delisa Hamilton coming on talking about business etiquette because, hey, let's face it, there's a business aspect and a professional aspect to our lives too, right? So we're going to be talking about business etiquette, and we just have a whole lineup. Veganism, I don't think we mentioned that. Art and I are vegans. That's a part of our wellness journey, where our doctor actually recommended that. And she is a fantastic doctor who doesn't believe in really prescribing medicine. She believes in allowing food to be your medicine. So when you come to visit her, one of the first things she asks is, what are you eating and what type of exercise are you doing?
This would be me at your doctor.
So
do I have to tell you?
Listen, she talked to us it took her probably about 4 years to convert us to becoming vegan.
Yeah.
We really didn't deal with a whole lot of meat anyway, so it wasn't a hard leap. We were largely vegetarians, and then finally we became vegan. So we have people on Talk About It, talking about veganism, beginner's guide to it, what that looks like. We have chefs, we have all kinds of talented people coming on Talk About It. So we want you to tune in. October 26th is our premiere episode with Dr. Gloria Morrow talking about healthy relationships. And what I love about Dr. Morrow's program is that after the program, she provides us with a healthy relationship self-assessment that's going to be available on our website, forloveofit.com. And so just great stuff. The thing, Sonia, that I like about Talk About It is that people aren't just giving information. They're sharing their personal stories. Because I have one person, someone I went to high school with actually, who is a Reiki master. And so Crystal said to me, she said, Stephanie, there's so many people who can talk about energy healing, but I want to tell my story, and I want to talk about my journey and hope that it can inspire others. And so we want people to come on Talk About It because it's the people we connect with, right? It's not just the concepts and the topics. That's great stuff. but we connect with the people, and because we're all connected. And so we're looking for people to come on Talk About It who are willing to tell their stories in hopes of educating and inspiring others. And that's what Talk About It is all about. So please tune in, subscribe to our YouTube channel, talk
You're
about
getting
it.
some congratulations here from Lisa Smith.
Hey, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Tony says, yay, congratulations, sending you love, light, and success.
Tony, thank you.
And Bright Opal Tarot says, congratulations on your launch.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Sophie and Ron, helping me get those thumbs up. I appreciate you both.
Yes.
You know, and I do have to say, it is so true about going back to being vegan, that I have done vegan diets. I've done them for, I've gone vegan for like a couple of weeks, and I felt amazing. I'm not going to lie. I felt fantastic. My body felt lighter. I felt, it was part of a cleanse detox that I do. At least I try to do at least once a month, but there is a difference. You do feel really good. Food is medicine when you're utilizing the correct type of food to put into your body. But it's just, for me, it's wiring. Well, for a lot of us, it's wiring, right? You're just so ingrained. It's ingrained in you that you need this thing with sugar, and vegans eat sugar. It's not like they don't eat sugar, but I'm talking about, like, I'm a baked goods. I'm a sweet girl. So, it's like there are foods out there that don't have the milk and don't have, they have more natural ingredients that you can use that break down a lot easier in your body, because I get all bloated and feeling all heavy and all that stuff. So I may get there one day. We'll see. It's just that wiring. I go back to that old way of doing things.
Like, as you mentioned, I mean, hey, there's vegan junk food out there too. So
there is.
The animal product doesn't mean that it's necessarily healthy for you. So that's something that you learn on this journey too.
Yeah, you do. Trader Joe's has these vegan chocolate chip cookies that I refuse to buy because I will eat the entire bag.
And we probably had them.
We probably have. But the thing is, everything in moderation. Veganism is just something that's worked for us. Our general practitioner led us there. And I don't know if you want to share your story as to how we got there.
Yeah, but first, Maya Angelou once said, moderation, even in moderation.
Right.
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 Some years ago, before we started our vegan journey, I had some blood work came back, and a little cholesterol, a little high, a little blood sugar levels, a little high, and maybe some other things. And so my doctor suggested, hey, what I want you to do, I want you to go on a vegan diet for 2 weeks, and then we'll take a look at your blood work again and see if we see any improvement on the numbers. So, I talked to Stephanie about it. She was like, hey, I'm all in. Let's do it together. So we did it for like 2 months, did we? Or 1 month?
Yeah, we said, let's give it. We were like, we didn't believe 2 weeks. We were like, no, let's give it a month.
Let's go hardcore. So we went hardcore for a month. Mm-hmm. And let me say, honestly, like the first week or so, I felt like extremely fatigued, So then that's when we started to supplement. And what was that?
She said, oops, I forgot to tell you, you need to take B12.
B12. So once I started taking that B12, then I started to feel a lot better. But long story short, then we retested, and all my numbers were a lot better. So that's been, one of our motivations, and we've been vegans ever since.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, kudos to you. I think now, though, in this day and age, I know some areas it's still kind of difficult for some people because they just don't have the restaurants and things of that nature. You guys, like myself, are in a metropolitan area, and like there's plethora of vegan restaurants and takeout and all that kind of stuff that you can do, and it makes it's easy. For us, but for some, I know it can be a little bit more challenging. But it's so different now. I mean, the food is really good. I mean, I mean, there's some vegan restaurants that I order from because it's good.
Really good.
Now, I will say, like, my doctor has, what kind of warned me, like, you still have to watch out for the amount of sodium in the food and all those kind of different things, because ultimately, again, you're trying to eat as clean as possible.
Yeah.
Then the
Unless
other,
you're doing it for yourself.
Mhm.
It's when you're eating out, people they like to add that extra to give it that zing. But when we cook for ourselves, we know what we're putting into our food, and it
and
makes
ultimately, you want to limit the amount of processed foods you take in. It's sometimes pretty difficult not to get something that's processed in, but do that in moderation. Yeah, right.
absolutely. This is a good question, Sophie. She says, is it more expensive to eat vegan?
We haven't found it
We
to
haven't
be.
found that to be.
We
No.
really have not found it to be.
And there are, like you pointed out earlier, Sonia, or some minutes ago, that there are so many more options available now.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I agree. I think that might have been the case maybe 10 years ago, but the vegan community is growing so much. I think people in the food industry realize that, hey, this is a growing and commercial part of the marketplace, and we need to get on board. And we need to provide options to cater to this huge community that's growing by leaps and bounds. So there's so many options now, and it's a lot more affordable than I think it was maybe
It
10
used
years
to be,
ago.
yeah, and it's even moving into the grocery stores, because I remember before you had to go to specialized stores,
Mhm.
like here in Los Angeles, it would be like Whole Foods,
Right.
what we like to say, whole paycheck. So Whole Foods is expensive. But now Ralph's is our main grocery store. You can go in and get vegan products and items in Ralph's.
Yeah.
And as far as fruits and vegetables have always been something that's a little bit on the pricier side. But there's farmers markets. If you're fortunate to have a farmers market in your town, then visit the farmers market. There, you get really good deals there. So yeah, it's the same kind of like with other foods. Of course, the junky junk food is going to be the stuff that's always on sale. They're constantly pushing that stuff and it's cheap, but just for couple more dollars, you can
Right.
get something that's a little bit better for you.
Want to pay for it on the front end or on the back end?
Yeah, literally.
That's all. Just which way do you want to? Which way do you want it? But can I just mention one thing? Art had mentioned experience anxiety at a point, and I just want to close the loop on that story. I'm pleased to report on your behalf that he has not been on any anxiety medication for years. So, between finding those healthy ways of managing that, he hasn't had the need for that. So those are the experiences we've had on our wellness journey. That's the type of information that we want to impart to people. And that goes back to what I said about taking responsibility for your health. That's what we want to help people do, to empower them with the information to do that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Art. That's extremely helpful for a lot of people. And as we already said, anxiety is a big thing that a lot of people are experiencing. So I'm laughing at Ron. He said, always knew you are sweet, Sonia sister. I was referring to my sweets, how I like my sweets. So tell us a little bit about your operations, because I know you mentioned, a couple of your interns, kind of how do you guys, because you also have full-time jobs and trying to run all of this as well. You're working with not only For the Love of It, you have Zen and You Music and now Talk About that's about to launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't do anything alone. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been an entrepreneur several times over. And so I've learned from probably 20 years of experience in entrepreneurism. At the start, I tried it alone. And I was just I was all over the place. Fortunately, I'm a hard worker, and people kind of buy into what I do. And so I'm very fortunate for that. But the end result was I was getting a lot of business and I didn't have a team. So I learned from my early years in entrepreneurism that you must have a team. And so, in terms of the contributing writers, I mentioned some of them, and our very gifted interns really help create and bring to life a lot of the beautiful content that you see, the graphic work, the videos, and in terms of the episodes, they are the ones who edit the videos into the nicely packaged episodes that you'll see as of October 26th. So we're very fortunate to have 5 interns, and they help with the social media aspects and the creative design aspects. They're absolutely incredible. And I think that too, when in terms of crafting the vision for this, being a former educator, it has been important to me to provide opportunities for the generation coming up. And so, this is an opportunity where they can apply their skills and do great work. That's a part of what we wanted to provide also with For the Love of It. And so, we want people to be along for the ride as it grows. Who knows where it will be, some time from now, but this is what it looks like today.
And we love them, our interns, past and present, by the way. Sorry, Paula, we're getting a little mushy up. Our interns who may be on, but it is for real. It is for real, and there's so much that we get from them, and listening to their stories and being a part of their journeys as well.
Yeah. What makes For the Love of It different from other wellness companies?
I would say we have a lot of wellness content under one umbrella. When you look at the wellness talk show, Talk About It, and Zen and You Music, we have the music piece, and then we have the affirmations, the blogs. We have a lot of content under one umbrella in one location, right?
Yeah.
And two, we're unabashed about making it clear that we are here to promote not only wellness, but love and wellness. Because again, love, that's the essence of who we are, right? And we're here to give love, receive love, be love. And to the extent that we can promote love and wellness, that contributes to healthy individuals, healthy couples, families, healthy workplaces, communities, local, national, global. So, that's very much a part of who we are. And so it's the combination of promoting the love and the wellness. We're very clear about that. Love is not a bad word, not a bad concept. We're not shy about that.
Diversity,
like artists, and diversity
is neither. So we're big on diversity.
Yeah.
And I have to tell everyone, they are truly speaking the word right now, because they are 2 beautiful, loving souls. And listen, they wouldn't be a part of my life if they weren't. So, Steph, I see you had one of your props there. You're going to talk a little bit about your props and different ways.
What my phone? What my phone? My iPad?
Yes. You guys are able to. People can find you anywhere.
That's the thing, because we're wired to these things, right? Right. Wellness Wednesday family. We're tied to all of these things now. Technology is the way. It's not going away. And so we want to make sure that our content is accessible. And so we're wired to these wonderful technological tools. And so we want to make sure that you have from us these wellness tools and resources right at your fingertips to access it at any time. You need a mindful minute, just plug in and just take that minute. You want some inspiration from a blog, click it, listen to it. Or if you're one who likes to read, you can read it from our website, forloveofit.com. But if you want to just get inspired and see images and hear my voice on the blogs, within a click of a button, you can get that too. So it's accessible. It's here for you.
I don't know if you have this yet, but this just clicked in my head because I went for a walk today. I went with my daughter, so we were having conversation. But sometimes I go on walks by myself, and it reminded me also of Pat through the Colored Lens Storyteller. She does what she calls her wellness walks. So that might be a great one to have either some type of music or meditation or something for a wellness walk. For someone taking a walk. I think that would be a great one. Yeah. I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, that would be nice to have something to listen to while you're walking.
Oh, yes. And listen, I have worked out to his Art the Great music, not so much the Art Zen music, because that's when I want to relax. But when I really want to get on that treadmill or I really want to step it up, I listen to the Art the Great music, and it's wonderful. It keeps so yes, thank you for that.
By the way, that's my Instagram handle, Art the Great. So
and production name.
And production name.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, I'm going to ask if you two, we're coming up on the hour here. So if there's anything else you want to share, if anybody has any last minute questions, now's the time to get it in. Yolanda says, yes, that's a great idea. So she's down for the wellness walk. Meditation. Anything else you want to share with anyone? With everyone, I should say. Everyone.
Nothing to share. I just invite everyone to be along with us on this journey. And if you have ideas like the wellness walks, we are open to ideas. We believe in evolving and meeting the needs of people. So we're very open to ideas. So contact us. If you go on our website, you can see our email address and we're available. And we thank you. We feel very honored to have this opportunity to provide information for people. Very honored.
Yes, and I just wanted to thank your viewers for tuning in, and hey, continued success to all you guys out there, and yeah, continued success and wellness. Thank you for joining today.
And continued success to our sister Sonia. We love you.
We love you. I love you too. Thank you so much for being on today. It really was truly my honor to have you both on. Yeah, I just miss you guys so much. So. Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. This has been a great conversation. And I will be on this, what is it, Friday? Wednesday. You guys, my mind, this event has got me not knowing if I'm going up, down, backwards, sideways. But I will be on this Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time for Coffee Chat or for readings. So tune in. Oh, you're so welcome, Jackie. Thank you. Jackie says, great couple.
Oh, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Lisa says, lovely guests. All right. So I'll be on this Friday morning. Hope to see you all then. Oh, good, Jaleesi. I'm glad you liked it. She said that was very insightful.
Thank you, Jaleesi.
Okay, everyone. Be well. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.